Hello and welcome. My name is 𝐤𝐚𝐢𝐝. I'm here to share success stories of women from all around the globe to inspire and to encourage millions of women to write their own success story. Today, I have the pleasure to be introducing to you Gitanjali Moray. I hope I spelled your name right. Gitanjali is from India. She moved to Germany almost 10 years ago in 2014. And you can imagine when you come from such a different culture, everyday tasks can be a challenge. So she says that she had to learn how to shop for grocery. Here, when you go to a store, you have like 20 different kinds of breads, 10 kinds of cheeses or even more, and 5 kinds of eggs. In India, she just asked for eggs, she got eggs. She asked for bread, she got bread. She paid and left. So of course you get into it. You learn how to search for a job, how to network, how to parent, how to live your life here. And she fell in love with the country, and today she is supporting international parents, especially women, to balance work and family life in Germany. A very warm welcome, Gitanjali. I'm so happy to have you in my video cast today.
Hi, Anita. Good morning. Thanks for having me. So it's pronounced Gitanjali Moray.
Gitanjali Moray.
No worries.
I will learn it. I will.
Yeah.
It's a great icebreaker when you get to know new people.
Yeah. Everybody has to practice saying my name 10 times.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm good. It's quite gray outside, but when you make the apartment nice and bright, then it's manageable.
Mm-hmm. True. So I've already mentioned you have a passion for balancing work life and career development of international mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this passion come from? What's your story?
So this is a project that has been in the making for a very long time. My career started in India. I've worked in nonprofit organizations and political foundations for almost 10 years now. And working with women has always been a part of it in different forms. So working with self-help groups, working with providing trainings and teaching them marketing, women's empowerment, feminist discussions, and so on. So, working with women has been a constant factor in my life for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And then last year, while I was when I was pregnant, I realized that there was very little discussion about pregnancy and what happens. Women also don't know their own bodies, they don't understand them. And there's so many things that are not discussed. There are so many taboos. And I got really annoyed because I've always been the kind of person who likes to, question the way things are done and tries to bring about as much change as possible and try to improve the situation. And I said, why is nobody talking about this? And when you go online, there's always discussions about how women have to do it all. Women are like mothers are all sacrificing. And there's things about, you want to have your laundry done, your apartment is clean, the food is cooked, you have the perfect body, and you have the perfect job and everything has to be perfect. Or it is the opposite, that everything is very bad. How women suffer, how they struggle, how they're at the reach of burnout. But there are very few people who are talking about just how things are. That there are sometimes that are bad, sometimes that are good, and there's everything in between. Mm-hmm. So that's why I started writing about my experience as a mother, literally like this, telling it how it is. The good days, the bad days, the confusing days, which is why I'm called the confused mother. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how it started. Towards the end of last year, I decided that I also would like to bring in the career coaching part of my work that I was already doing for many years before that. And I combined everything together to create an offer of workshops, tutorials, and Instagram. I've also got a podcast it's fairly new. It's been running for a little over a month now, and there's a new episode every week. Today, one actually came out with a lactation consultant. So, it's just my attempt at supporting women. And I know the difficulties, as you mentioned, the story of me buying groceries in the supermarket. So the full story is that I said this to somebody and they started laughing. They're like, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 30, but I've never shopped for groceries in Germany before, because you have so many supermarkets and so many overwhelming decisions to make. And these things you can quickly get used to and you can learn about, but there's a lot of things like German bureaucracy, things that are available to you, language barriers, and I want to help international people, international parents in Germany kind of overcome all of that and learn how to navigate everything with ease and comfort.
Yeah, it can be really overwhelming. And it's so helpful when you have someone who knows her way around and who has this international background and who experienced it herself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. In December last year, in 2022, you have found your own company, the Confused Mother, and you say you've been working towards it. What was there a game changer? But you said, okay, now I will do that, or has it been like a long-term planning?
It's not been a long-term planning, apparently, but a lot of other people who've heard that, like my friends and family who heard about this, the launch of my business, they all were like, oh my God, yeah, you totally belong in this. Oh, this is going to be great. You're so entrepreneurial anyway. And I never thought that. I never believed that I could do that. But and I have still no idea whether I can do it, because I've just started, and maybe this whole thing crashes and burns, who knows. But let's see where it goes. It has not been in the making for a long time. So what happened was, I was looking for a job last year while I was on maternity leave, and I had a job already, but on a short, like a limited contract. And that was about to end soon after my maternity leave. So I thought, how about if I try to find a job during my maternity leave so that I can make a smooth transition. And then a lot of things went wrong. And then I had a couple of offers, and I won't get into the details, but a lot of things did not really work out the way I thought they would. And then the last interview that I had, I think I was in the final rounds, and they said that they don't think I can take over or start or like run a business. They said that I don't have it. And that kind of sealed my motivation. And I said, well, if they say I can't do it, then I have to do it. And that kind of got me really going. And I found a coach, I found funding, and like funding for the coaching, and I got started on planning everything.
Sounds amazing. So you will prove them wrong and you will rock your business.
Fingers crossed.
Challenge accepted.
Exactly.
Sounds wonderful. Yeah, I can feel your energy and your positive attitude, and you have so much experience and expertise. And I think you're a person who doesn't give up at the first challenge, but you keep going and finding your way.
Yes. I think that I am like that.
So how does your international, or especially your Indian background, influence the way you approach working and living?
So I think anyone who has even heard of India knows how diverse the country is, right? There are, I think, over 2,000 dialects. There are over 20 official languages. There are so many different types of foods and clothes and so on. And I've lived in different places in India. I've worked with all sorts of people, from like farmers in very, very remote villages, to fishermen, to parliamentarians, to NGOs, to corporate, like I've worked with a whole diverse set of people. And through this experience, I've developed the ability to kind of talk to everyone on an eye-to-eye level. which involves also adjusting the way you talk, the words you use, the arguments you prepare, and so on. So that has kind of become quite natural for me. It's a long journey. It's taken a lot of practice. And this is something that definitely helps me in my work, intercultural communication. And of course, me living in Germany for a little over 8 years now has also helped, because I had to kind of adjust the way I live, I talk, and work based on the expectations here. And that is something that also comes up a lot in the career coaching, because I work, as you mentioned, with international people. And you can't use the same job applications that you used in your country over here, because they will most probably not work. The expectations and the way things work here are different. So that is one of the big blocks of time that we have in a career coaching, is to discuss how to adapt your application without kind of losing yourself, not that you completely change and leave out your identity, but to really bring both of them together. So that is one thing. The second thing is, I think, language. I speak German. I learned German half a lifetime ago. I feel so old, but yeah. So when I was 19, I started learning German in India, and I came here and I realized that even though I speak good German, life is extremely challenging, because there's still so many things that I don't know. I don't understand words I've never heard, and you still end up learning a lot. And it's an ongoing process, because the more situations you are exposed to, the more you learn, right? So this definitely helps in my work. I think the couple of things that really kind of sum it up would be the openness to accept new cultures, new spaces, new identities, and so on. And also the ability to say, I don't know, which means the openness to learn again, to say like, okay, I don't know something, and it's fine to say I don't know, which is something that a lot of grown-ups have a difficult time with. They want to come across as if they are all-knowing, but it's close to impossible for everyone to know everything.
You can only learn if you ask, right? If you're open to
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. So when looking into the future, I mean, you've just started to found your company, but are there any projects or ideas that you're working on that you would like to realize one day, or really a big dream?
Well, as you said, I'm right at the beginning, and there are a certain number of things, offers. If you look at my website, you can see that there are workshops and tutorials and so on. So currently, I'm still creating all of those. I'm not really offering them yet, but it is all an ongoing process. And you know what, honestly speaking, I'm covering international parents, parenthood, motherhood, career, and the opportunities or the possibilities are endless. Like, I could talk to every mother and she would have a different story to tell, because every mother's experience is unique, every father's experience is unique, and I could just keep going. There's no end to any of this. In terms of projects, I think I don't have any one project that I'm aiming for. I think the goal for this year is to make some money. Some money. I don't know how much it's going to be, but I would be really happy if this project starts making some money. Because I think that kind of motivates you, right? I mean, if you just keep working and you don't get anything out of it, then you're like, okay, why am I doing this? But after a while, if you see, the first money, yes, I've got it, so I can keep doing this, and it can keep growing. Yeah.
It will. Gitanjali, what is your personal secret to success?
I have no idea. I think that what I just said earlier is the ability to say I don't know, the openness to learn, the openness to try, and again, I keep coming back to the career coaching that I talk about. I also So the motto in my business, and especially the career part of it, but also the parenting part of it, is to communicate with courage. That is kind of my overall motto, is communicating with courage. Which means that, you know, you talk about who you are, you talk about what you want, you set your own boundaries, but that you give your thoughts and desires and wishes a voice, right? And I think that that is something that that also comes up when you have difficult conversations, right? So to really say, okay, this is what I want and I'm going to go for it, right? So yeah, so just the openness to learn and always communicating with courage.
Communication is the key to everything.
Yes.
And courage, yes. You are definitely courageous. Hats off. I think it's amazing what you do, and keep going, believing in yourself, and yeah, that's just going really forward, difficult. Right? That's the thing to success. There will be ups and downs, certainly, but if you keep going and you believe in yourself,
you know, often there are more downs than ups, and what you believing in yourself, it's very difficult. It's very difficult, and something that that always comes up is, you know, this voice in your head that says you can't do it, or who are you to think you can do this? All of that. So believing in yourself is basically telling that voice to get lost, and it's very difficult.
Of course, our brain doesn't like us to leave our comfort zone. It's risky and dangerous, but there is where the dreams are.
Exactly, that's where magic happens.
Exactly. So if you had the chance to meet or to talk to your younger self, what would you tell her?
I think what I just said, you know, this voice that's there, that is basically my inner critic, right? And I think that what I would tell my younger self is to be kinder to myself, is to not be so hard on myself, not to be so self-critical, but to just say that, okay, I'm human, I'm learning, I'm changing. And I think that all of us have this, like every single coaching client of mine has always said, yeah, but I'm not qualified for this job. I don't know how to do these things. And why should I apply for this job? Or, you know, it's a lot of self-sabotage when you have this kind of doubt. So I would tell my younger self to be kind to myself. And I think the second thing would also be to be patient, because I tend to be quite impatient. And I believe, like in a process of kind of introspection, I've realized that I think I should have been a little bit more patient, not only with myself, but with circumstances around me. Because it takes time for things to fall into place. It takes time for things to kind of just play out, and you should have the patience, or I should have the patience to just see how things develop. And in the past, I feel like I've taken some very emotional decisions, some very rash decisions. And now, especially as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, I can't do that anymore. I have to give it time, right? So this is something I'm also telling myself now, is not just my younger self, but also now, is to really be patient and say that, okay, I'm going to give my business a good amount of time, a good chance, obviously keep learning and keep improving, but really give it a good, fair chance before I say, okay, it's working or it's not.
True. Just what I wanted to say. You keep learning, you keep growing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. Really strong and exciting. Exciting journey. So you have a network of international women around you. Which inspiring woman would you love to see in female success stories one day?
Oh, I spend a lot of time thinking about this, because there are so many inspiring women. I mean, you know, the stories that I have heard through my Instagram or through my podcast, it's just overwhelming to hear what women live through and what they do. But in terms of interesting stories and also very brave stories, I think I would actually find it very interesting to see my best friend here on this on your video cast. She's from India. Her name is Aparna Ravichandran, and she has she's done some really great things, and she's very passionate about sports, which is already not so common amongst women. So I kudos to her for that, because she loves cricket, she watches football, she loves tennis, like she's crazy about tennis. And she's worked at a sports marketing agency in, well, kind of a non-profit, supporting athletes in India. And then she also started working. So she moved, after she got married, she moved to Australia. She lives in Melbourne. And over there also she worked with a lot of refugees, and then she was also in the department of, I think it's called the Department of Health Services, I'm not sure, but basically in the COVID response team for community engagement. So her work is really, really impressive, and I'm sure she's got some crazy stories to tell you. Yeah, so I think that would be a really, and also like she's also lived in a lot of different places. So within India, she's lived in a few places, but also she studied in the UK, and now she's living in Australia. So she would be a fascinating person, and also she's my best friend. So
yeah, sounds amazing.
we actually worked together many years ago, and she was in my team. I was technically her boss, and yeah, and then that's kind of how our friendship started. And she's also lived through a lot of different experiences. Yeah,
wonderful. Thank you. So do you have anything else that you feel like you'd like to share, a message or anything else that you would like to send out there through my video cast?
Well, first of all, I want to tell you that I think you're doing this is a great project. I feel like I wish I had the idea. But
you have your podcast, which
yes,
I love it very much.
Thank you. Well, that is true. I'm doing the podcast and I'm telling really some sharing some very fascinating stories and some very shocking stories. The podcast is for your listeners, available everywhere on Spotify and Apple. Also on my website, you can find the links. But I think what I always say is communicating with courage. So be confident in what you want to say, believe in yourself, and speak up.
Thank you so much, Gitanjali, for sharing your story and your passion. Yeah, it was really inspiring to listen to you.
Thanks so much for having me, Anita.
And I wish you a lot of success, fun, and of course a lot of money, a lot of happy customers.
Yes, that would be great.
And I look forward to yeah, seeing your journey, seeing how you grow, how you change, how it all continues.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I mean, it's as I said, it's just the beginning. So let's see where it goes.
Yeah. And to you out there, thank you so much for listening, watching. I hope you got so inspired as I do. I love Gitanjali's motto, communicate with courage. I wish this to you as well. Take care and see or hear you next time. Bye.